Hello and welcome everybody to the Crown Clash Takeover event. I hope that you're all good. Nidoking to kick things off. We've got Shadow Dialga to get from Giovanni. And as you saw at the end of yesterday's video perhaps, the new Shadow Shinies from the Team Rocket leaders are, I'd say, a lot better than the previous wave. Cliff has Shadow Shiny Gible, people. In the game is frankly fantastic. Arlo has Shadow Shiny Potential Horsea, which is new and actually I think quite a nice little color combo. Sierra has the returning Shadow Shiny Potential Trapinch, so let me know what you think of those Shadow Shinies in the comments below, of course. But still no joy on this Nidoking or Nidoqueen shenanigans. Now, two things. First of all, big thanks to Wild Sunflower for this event's premium ticketed research. Really appreciate the generosity on that one. This thing won't get in the ball. Also, small apology, yesterday's Spot Hour stream went a little bit awry because the connection problems were very prominent. About 20 minutes in, I couldn't actually reconnect the stream, so just called it. Started grinding the Spot Hour like good old-fashioned days. We did get a shiny on stream, but 4 or so minutes before the end, we did pick up our second ever shiny Sandigar. So during the course of the Spot Hour, that was family completed, which is awesome. So I hope you were able to get a shiny Sandigar during the Spot Hour if you were out there grinding it. Now, we need to catch a few more Pokemon to clear this. We do have a win 2 raids that's going to give us a non-shiny Nidoking again. Honestly, I've seen people getting multiples of these and it's starting to grind my gears a bit. Stage 1 of the premium research already completed, so Wild Sunflower, again, thank you for your generosity. Encounter number 2 is the Combi, a male, which unfortunately can't evolve. The third encounter is the Snivy. Okay, interesting. Penultimate check is the Pawniard. That's a great shiny. Hopefully you guys have been able to get some of those. And we get a premium battle pass and a Nidoqueen that's not shiny once again. Oh my goodness me. I am going to keep grinding these things. Of course, now Shadow Raids can be remoted. That's now live with this event. Also, 10 remotes per day is now live and accessible, which is awesome. So stage 2 of the Team Rocket research. This again isn't timed or anything like that, so you can take your sweet time on it. I think you have to get it done before June the 3rd or 4th when the new season kicks into gear. So actually not a crazy length of time. And to be honest, Shadow Dialga is looking fantastic in the game. This is dead. There's a Litleo, fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. But now we have to find one of each of the Team Rocket leaders. And thanks to the previous Rocket Wave being pretty dead, I have lots of Rocket Radars saved up from various Community Day researches, etc. and all the components. Oh, there's a Nidoqueen over at Lamas. Let's go and get that Nidoqueen. But I do have some other good news. A Sneasel came through Shiny Field Research, which is awesome. Again, that was a power-up 5. Bit of a shake-up with the old Rocket Grunts as well. So Shadow Shiny Beldum is the notable one. That's now in the Steel-type Grunts. That could be Shadow Shiny. Incredibly good Pokemon. But I have also seen Shadow Swinub is back in the Ice-type Grunts for the first time in like over a year. And that can't be Shadow Shiny, but is actually quite a good Pokemon. Need to get rid of these eggs because I want to stock up on 12s because at the moment, I haven't seen any confirmation just yet whether it's a glitch or not, but Shiny Salandit might have inadvertently been released with this event. I've seen people getting it. It's actually somebody getting it from their Go Pass for May. So it's there. It's a great shiny. If it's a legit release, eggs. Grind the eggs, the 12-kilometer eggs, because it's only available in there apart from the odd random special research encounter. So Arlo is going to be the first Rocket leader we're going to take down. He has Horsea, and honestly, the only thing I've changed, apart from completely botching the whole starting the battle there with the screen record, I've swapped out what was something. I've swapped it out for Katana, because Katana with Razor Leaf does really good just general damage. Maybe switch to Lucario to get this one kind of taken down. I don't think the Rocket leaders are crazy difficult this time round if you've got decent Pokemon powered up. Obviously, if you're lower level, they might prove a bit of a challenge. There's finally both shields broken through. Goodbye, Steelix. And Arlo typically has, there we go, Scizor in the back. So always bring a fire type. Shadow Shiny Horsea, brand new, can evolve up to Kingdra from Gen 2. And honestly, it's a quality shiny family, but not a Shadow Shiny. It needs to be a much deeper sort of marine blue. I actually only just checked. The premium research that we got gifted does actually give you, all the way down here, another Super Rocket Radar. So if you buy it, you can get 2 Giovanni's, which is awesome. In fact, there's 2 Sierras here, talking about pairings. Nidoqueen down. We're going to be chasing these in the raids, honestly. I want to burn those passes on these things. They're so limited and exclusive. And the fact we haven't got either of them and people have got multiples of them is just triggering me slightly. But thank you so much, every single person with the Patreon squad who jumped in. It's a tiny one. That's kind of adorable, but shame it wasn't the tiny shiny, not unlike somebody who got a tiny shiny Nidoking, I think, in our podcast Patreon. Recorded 223 last night. definitely go and drop it down there. It's the tiniest Nidoqueen I've ever seen. I'm not surprised, to be honest. We actually have a bunch of rewards here from the Go Pass, so there we go, Shade is going to help. Anyway, we get some candies, some XP, some balls, some dust, and all the usual shenanigans. This is going to be an encounter with a Hisuian Voltorb, would have been a really cool shiny to grab today. And this is a Rockruff. That's really cool. I mean, if you got the shiny of that, fantastic. And obviously, it can get the Dusk form. I assume this is not the Dusk form, and it's terrible as well. Honestly, the Go Passes are providing bugger all for myself. Bad news. As you can see there, it's another Arlo, unfortunately. Tell me, Psychic, by the way, has had a bit of an upgrade. For like last year, it's had the Translucent Testicle in it and Gothita, both trash. Now it's got Routes. Quick shout out to Leak Duck, of course. These are the new Rocket Leader lineup. So Giovanni, Standard Persian, obviously the Dialga will be the final slot, and then I think it's pretty much the same as last time. It's 2 ground types and Kangaskhan, so your fighting type for Persian should cover the Kangaskhan, which is the normal type. You'll want to bring in, I'd say, maybe something that's got a quick spammy move for grass or maybe water, a ground or fighting type to take on Dialga, preferably Mega Lucario. I would highly recommend bringing that one in. Cliffy Boys looking challenging with good old Gible in the first slot, then a combo of Annihilate, Ponchcrow or Skarmory. Skarmory's annoying because it's obviously steel flying, so it's only really weak to a handful of things. But then the standard slots of Tyranitar, Machamp and Luxray in the back. Then you've got Arlo with the Horsea, which has a really annoying squad of different things. Steelix we faced off against, Slowbro is kind of a tanky one, and then Crobat. The final one is Alolan Muck is going to be really painful to deal with, but then Alakazam's kind of weak, and Scizor is the typical one you'll face off. And finally Sierra, Trapinch to start off with. Then you've got Mismagius or Staraptor or Ferrothorn in there. The final slots are pretty okay, to be honest. Houndoom and Camerupt, and then Drapion. So there you go. Come on, bring the shiny. Or the hundo of this one, actually. Will it be blue? Like my shirt. That's why I'm wearing it. Come on. Bugger. So we've stumbled across a cliff battle, and we're going to jump in. We've only swapped out Lucario for Latios, namely Latios, Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw, incredibly fast combo. Also Gible being part ground type. Shouldn't be too difficult to deal with. I've also somehow partially undone my shoelace in the process. Personally, I'm going to be chasing Cliff as much as I can do. Gible obviously is an insanely good Pokemon. The Shadow version is also equally good, and the Shadow Shiny, very, very premium. I like the look of it. And it's actually nice to be able to go Shadow Shiny chasing again, because the last Rocket Wave was Alolan Grimer, which we got one of completely by accident. Skorupi, I just personally don't like the Pokemon, even though it is a good shiny, I won't deny that, but I just don't like how unbelievably tanky it is in Rocket Grunts for some reason. And the last one I honestly forget. Just going to deal some fast damage. We might switch. I should have really brought in a fire type, to be honest, or maybe an electric type, but I actually may have made a bit of a mistake here. Thinking about it, should we shield? No, let's let Latios go, because if he has a final slot of Tyranitar, yes, we have 2 counters, but we don't have the fighting type, and obviously Tyranitar's double weak to fighting. So let's just charge up some energy on Katana and hope for the best. Easy, what is there to worry about? And it's Tyranitar, that's a surprise. So Leaf Blade should do some damage. There we go, good chunk of damage. We could even just spam the Razor Leaf and get our win. I think after that we deserve a refreshing, zesty beverage. Also gonna try and slowly stock up on 12Ks. This is not the Shadow Shiny. I think 250 or 440 something might be the 100% for this thing. Judgment time. Is it? Yeah, it's a 2-star mediocre, but that's absolutely fine. And we do have a winner raid task completed, or win 2 raids, I think it was. Nidoking still not shiny. And having picked up a lovely refreshing beverage, we've returned to the double Sierra here in Walpole. So of course the balloons are actually cycling every 2 hours, so massively boosted during this event, which I'd suggest just battle them and get them out of the way, to be honest. The grunts are fairly easy, but here is Sierra. I've kept the same lineup because if I switch into Katana, it just deals the damage outright, so Trapinch is already in the bin. Next up is, it's Mismagius. Of course it is, so I'm going to try and burn the shields. This is where having a Pokemon with double moves on it can come in quite handy. Obviously I haven't got that on my Katana. I don't know if you had the Yveltal that had dark moves and fighting moves. That might prove quite nice and worthwhile. Which is your favorite Shadow Shiny of the 3 that are available? There are still Shadow Shinies available from the Grunts and the Shadow Raids have had a bit of a revamp. I think there's Murkrow and Magnemite, I think it might be. I think there's even Shadow Shiny potential in the 3 stars, finally, after having months and months of just bloody Magmar, Wobbuffet, and Electabuzz that can't be Shadow Shiny. I think the Shadow Shiny potential Lapras is in 3 stars, which, just bear in mind, that's a tanky one. Literally needed 2 Pokemon to take this thing down. My view, Trapinch is probably the worst, but it's a good Shadow Shiny, so it'd be nice to add it to the collection. Given the nature of all 3, I will battle all 3, but this is not Shadow Shiny, and it's 420 because it's weather boosted. Would you look at that? We are going to battle Giovanni while sat down here, and then we'll run some daily adventure incense to see how we do for today. This is 0 star, but we get some XP. Let's claim stage 3 of 5, and obviously we know stage 4 of 5 is find the boss, battle the boss, and defeat the boss, even though it's not visible there for whatever reason. We have some rewards. We've got Rockruff Candy and XL Candy that will go nowhere, Dramper, and I do need this shiny for myself. We actually got it traded to us in Sinotaur LA, I believe it was, from Andrew the Wolverine. Do you know what? I'm actually loving it. It's a beautiful sunny day here, and I don't have hay fever. It's a blessing. This is, wow, terrible. And actually, I didn't even need to move. Giovanni's right here, so we could do the battle just right now. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to Mega Evolve the Lucario. I honestly suggest that you guys do the same. Katana will deal with the ground types and Groudon's in the back in case we need it. Mega Lucario making serious light work of this thing. So it's Sunny Boost at the moment, so that means Dialga won't be boosted. We want to see 910 CP is the hundo, I believe, but I'll take a decent 3-starer, to be honest. Okay, it's Rhyperior next, which actually is weak to fighting anyway, but his ground move is going to annihilate this Mega Lucario. Actually, let's just try and spam up the power-up punch. Oh, yes, we can get to the 4th stage before losing any health. So if we're lucky with the moves and power of Shadow Dialga, we might even just be able to do it with 1 hundo level 50 Mega Lucario. There is Shadow Dialga, and it's going down really quick. Oh my goodness, I could just hysterically try and do this, not even use didn't even need a charge move. I think that's possibly one of the simplest Giovanni battles ever, but Dialga is one of my favorite legendaries. Eventually it will come as a Shadow Shiny, but who knows, given the rotation, we have Shadow Shiny Regigigas popping into the raids for the raid day on Saturday, and this, in the game, 875 isn't too far off. I mean, what's that? 35 CP away or so from the 100%er. So let's see, is this, wow, it's 2-star. I wanted a decent 3-star, got a 2-star, but that's kind of the nature of Shadow Legendaries that come from Giovanni battles. Don't forget, you can do this. TM away frustration. Of course, we've put this as a short on the channel. We say it every single time. If you've got bulk to TM frustration away from, the best thing you can do is go to your item bag, find the charged TM itself, and then just search for @frustration. See, I've got a bunch of them here, and you literally just have to go tap, tap, done. And it's just as simple as that. You don't actually have to go into the individual Pokemon, then select the item and do all of that. Done and dusted. Here is the research. We're going to get an encounter with something probably quite underwhelming. That's the nature of free research. It's a Pawmiard. Okay, I stand corrected. But I have to decide, 875. We can go up, but a long way up, whether we wait for a weather boosted one. Oh my god, it can't get much worse. But then it's also completed with the Stardust, and you get some fast TMs. Really, you should get an elite TM, to be honest, in my view. We might as well claim it. It's going to be one hell of a long clip, this. So there's the Slakoth. Shame you weren't pink, Sunshine. Eventually, it will become a Shadow Shiny, and I will be chasing that to the ends of the earth. Litleo, one of the boosted shinies. We picked 2 up yesterday. Only 1 was in the video. We did get a second one a matter of like 20 checks later. The Piplup, obviously part of the event. Not much else to mention there. And the penultimate is the Pawniard again. 604. It's Nidoking time. Please, shiny costume. That's not bad, actually. I think that's the best Nidoking we've seen. That's it, we've got our rocket radar again. Until we do a Giovanni in 6 minutes time. Today is going rather smoother than I expected. So obviously Giovanni's from the 12 o'clock balloon, but if I exit out, it's turned to windy weather. Literally, it couldn't have worked out any better. I was thinking, should I save the second Dialga for when we get a weather boost? Let's go for Dialga number 2, shall we? And we're gonna rock and roll with the same lineup and see, can we get ourselves a decent weather boosted one? Typically, my weather boosted Shadow Legendaries have always come through apocalyptically awful. I cast my mind back to when I did Shadow Mewtwo multiple times over, got the weather boosted one, and it was literally 0 star. Also, it was about the worst you could get from a weather boost. There you go. Right, and he's got himself a Nidoking. Actually, on a funny note, it would have been quite amusing if his Nidoking for this event had the crown on it. Does anybody else miss Shadow costumes? I actually really do. I've still got my top hat Shadow Shinx. I've got my Halloween costume Shadow Vulpix. They're not available anymore. They don't happen, and it's such a shame, I think, you know? It shows that you cared about Team Rocket. I don't know. I know you think you're all that, but I'm afraid, Sunshine, in the bin, and Dialga's gonna face one Aura Sphere to the face. Honestly, get yourself a Mega Lucario seems to be so the choice for a counter to take on Giovanni. Boom, done. Good luck to myself, I guess. Good luck to you guys. If you've done your Shadow Dialga, let me know in the comments below how it turned out. This needs to be 1500. Oh my God, it's awful. I knew it would happen. I knew it would happen. Why did I do this to myself? 1428, I think it's actually going to be worse than the one we got before. Ah dear, let's have a look-see, shall we? Yeah, 1 star. We're still going to TM frustration off it. Stop being, well, stay in pain, but slightly less frustrated, Dialga. Okay, the timing of these 10Ks is somewhat problematic. So let's blast through them as fast as we can do, because we've got something waiting for us that's a rather cool spawn. Turtonator, nice to see that back in the 10Ks. There's a Larvesta, that was the last shiny egg catch we got. Carbine, thankfully, is going to be shiny in like 3 weekends' time. And Jangmo, very likely to be the community day for June. And Tink Tink, ain't gonna ever turn that down. All much of a much, however, boom, shiny Litleo for the day. Fantastic. 951, and it's not sunny boosted, so it's probably going to be dead. But it's good to see those sparkles coming on through. I was kind of worrying that we'd only be able to wow, truly epically awful. That is very nice indeed. And do we have our daily incense? No, we have a double Pawnyard waiting for us. That's something at least. Not blue. Nidoking raid done and dusted. Handful of people jumping in, and it means 4 checks coming up, which is frankly better than nothing. Are we ever going to get these shinies, these shiny costumes? I can't quite believe we've done so many checks and not got them, but hey, RNG is RNG at the end of the day. Birthhole, Danger Mouse, and I saw, who else was in there? Somebody else. I've honestly just forgotten because I'm an idiot. Kenna, thank you for jumping in, and it's still ain't a shiny. Now we've hatched those 10 kilometers race, we need to go and get some 12s from the Rocket leaders, but there aren't actually a crazy amount around today. This is what happens with the Team Rocket takeover, is that the stops get predominantly taken over by the grunts, which are all boosted during the event. Therefore, the leaders, which are permanent invasions at each stop per day, kind of get reduced, but then you have the rocket balloons every 2 hours. Did I? That's a 96, not bad actually, but let's get ourselves some checks. Not a shiny. Let's go for that one there. Not a shiny. And finally, not a shiny. What is wrong with these two? Seriously. Of course, I can't go through a video without saying a big and wonderful, huge thanks to every single person who's a part of this Patreon squad, supporting the channel, me as a creator, and everything in between. Thank you very much for all of your tier up support, because it does go an extremely long way into keeping this going. Live streams, the live events, the travel bits and pieces, community days, and everything in between. As I say, huge appreciation to every single one of you guys on the rolling credits there. Thank you. I honestly forgot how tanky Mesprit is. These Lake Trio, undesirable, I think would be the word, but 3 people jumped in on this one. Thank you very much. Don't forget, Mesprit Raid Hour is obviously today, but there is another one next week, so keep your eye on the Shadow Regigigas Raid Day vlog. This is not shiny, and I will not be raiding any more Mesprit apart from the Raid Hours. Don't have any of the Hundo Lake Trio, but there are better things to put your passes into, in my view. Pleasey shiny boy. Let's see if your invite's going to bring the first shiny Nido. Come on, come on, please. Damn it. Okay, that was not a shiny I was expecting to get during this event. I was trying to click the love disc on my daily incense, but a shiny Snivy. I like the bluey green of it. It's quality. That's not a boosted shiny for this event either. A little bit of full odds action, but I'm on my way to a Nidoking raid at the pond. This is... I will say we had a little bit of a streak when it came to Litleo. If I search up shiny, we've had 3 today, and these 2 were 2 checks apart. Come on, be the shiny blue Nidoking, for God's sake. We are very much overdue for this one. Come on. This thing does not like me. Now we're going to conclude the grind and have a look at what we managed to get today. So shadow-wise, we didn't obviously showcase terribly much apart from the leader battle. I do love the introduction of the Gen 6 fossils. Tyrant and Amora. Amora is in both rock and ice grunts, so bear that in mind. You'll be able to find that one fairly easily. Tyrant, I've only seen one from a rock grunt. I mentioned it before, but Swinub being back in the ice grunts is really, really overdue. Of course, my favorite Slakoth in the normal type grunts, love that. Inkay is one of the new shadows, only available in the psychic type grunts, but I think it looks quite cool with its red eyes. But of course, our double Dialga, neither of them are particularly anything to shout about. So, and I did want to do this. Let's evolve. I mean, they're both terrible, really. We're going to get our Shiny Dex Palosan. I hope you all had a good Spotlight Hour, which was yesterday. Let me know if you managed to grab the shiny black volcanic sandcastle from it, because, well, Palosan, as you can see here, is just as awesome. Such a good shiny family, and I'm very, very pleased to be able to get 2 during the Spotlight Hour. Done and dusted into Alola. We will hopefully be back out before the weekend, because I want to grind for these 12-kilometer eggs, and we'll see if shiny Salander is still available, and there's plenty of good Shadow Shinies to go chasing for in this Team Rocket takeover, and we still need these goddamn costume crowns. No joy, thanks to anybody who's pinging remotes my way. But I will say, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider hitting that subscribe button, and thank you so very much to every single one of you who has hit that subscribe button over the years and watches the content. Check out some of the videos that are available on the screen here. There's so much more for you to hopefully enjoy at your leisure. 24-hour challenges, there's live events and much more available for you. But I will say, until the next time, folks, do take care.